Welcome to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. I'm your host, Fabian motherfucking Ojeda, and I don't know shit, but that's okay. All right, let's get this shit started. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Ignorance is Strength podcast. Hope you all enjoyed our previous episode with the college cartel. Definitely some different thoughts there, interesting thoughts there. And as far as that college cartel goes, I'm still waiting to get my money back. Biden, knock, knock. What's happening? Come on now. But we're back today with a brand new guest. Very excited to talk to him all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. He's a pro baseball player and a country music artist. I want to welcome Mr. Bryan Ruby. How you doing, Bryan?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
Definitely. Yeah, excited, man. So Nashville, huh?
Yes, sir. Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, my adopted home. I've been here for about 3 years. I love it.
Where are you originally from?
Originally from Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah. I hear that. Is Nashville just kind of like how that Jason Aldean song goes? Is it Crazy Town?
Crazy Town, yeah, full of neon dreams. Everybody plays, everybody sings. That's it. We're all everybody's some kind of musician, whether it's the Uber driver, or the waiter, or the valet parking the car. We're all songwriters, guitarists. You know the deal.
I wish I would spend more time in Tennessee. I only passed through there when I was driving back home from Georgia one time, all the way to California. And the one thing I tripped out on was, it's like, I guess it's right in the middle of that Bible Belt, right? And so, I think it was like on Sundays it was dry. There's nobody selling anything. There's no even food sales. I remember I'm like, I'm trying to get something to eat. I'm on the road. Yeah. I had to go find a barbecue bus out in the middle of nowhere. It was a bus that served barbecue, and I'm like, okay, all right. I'm like, I know I'm not in the old expression, I'm not in Kansas anymore, but I was closer to Kansas than I was California. I'm not in California anymore.
Yeah, well, that sounds like Tennessee right there. Barbecue bus on the side of the road.
For sure. All right. Well, I'm really excited to talk about a few things. I read your story, read about you, checked out your social media and everything. And there's a lot there, and I think we're only going to scratch the surface a little bit today. But primarily, obviously I want to talk about, your music and everything and what you got going on there. But yes, I want to briefly touch on a couple things, because obviously, when people get into music, yeah, they like the music, but when they really latch onto an artist or a group or whatever, there's more there. There's more substance. There's something that, right, they can kind of like say, like, I identify with you. And you've actually, this is obviously not your first interview. You've done a lot of media lately, right?
Yeah, I've done I do a bunch of it. But I'm down to answer pretty much whatever, as long as it's appropriate. I'm lucky I get to do two things, being a ball player and songwriter. So there's a lot to talk about. And, we run a nonprofit as well that's a 501c3 nonprofit that helps younger kids like me in baseball. So that's another thing I definitely want to mention somewhere along the line.
So, and since you're very open to talking about it, I want to really quickly, just throw out there, you do two things that are, historically, pretty macho, right? You do country music and you do baseball, right? However, things have changed, and I was very surprised to read, in your profile and everything, and you did a pretty big interview about it. Is that you came out as openly gay baseball player, and that's like you're the first to do so?
Well, I always say I don't think I'm really the first. There's obviously many people who have played baseball. There are some guys who have come out after they retired, but I think what I was at the time when I came out was the only active pro who came out at the time. But luckily, I say I'm not the first, and I'm definitely not going to be the last. Mm-hmm. I'm just maybe the guy you're hearing about right now. And, I don't really want to be the only one, and wanted to do it so that other players could feel comfortable too. And I think, in the year since then, we've had couple players who have also come out, and I'm hoping that there's many more down the line because there's 16 million people that play baseball in the U.S.
Yeah.
So statistically, there's
Right.
a
Yeah.
few more than a couple more than a few. So but
Well, I
that's
mean,
yeah.
yeah, that's really cool. To say, hey, this is who I am, and that's what it is. And you, so your nonprofit helps kids like you in that aspect.
Yeah, we help. We have some programs that we're putting together. We're only like a year old, but we have like this website, proudtobeInBaseball.org. That's what it's called, Proud to Be in Baseball. Same thing on social media. So younger players will find it, and it's really cool. It's like the thing that I wish I could have had when I was a kid. And I felt different than all my teammates and stuff. And I couldn't see anybody else like me. They say if you can see it, you can be it. So the whole idea was I didn't just want to come out really just for me. I wanted to help try to make a better environment for other people like me. So nobody had to feel alone. I definitely felt like all these feelings of loneliness growing up, feeling different than my teammates. But that's the nonprofit. It's a pretty cool thing that we put together, and I think it's going to grow really big over the course of the next couple of years, just because it's an idea that a lot of people can get behind. It's a positive thing.
Yeah, definitely. And anytime you're helping kids, I work with kids. That's what I've been doing, all my adult life. And anytime you can make a difference and change the odds for youngsters, it's a good thing. So definitely kudos to you. I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that. And, it's important. It's important for sure.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So let's get into the music stuff. I mean, that's what we're really here to talk about. And, you released is your debut album, right? Recently?
Well, I'm rolling out my debut EP one song at a time. Currently in the process of doing that. We've rolled out 3 songs off of the EP so far, and I just rolled out a Christmas song yesterday. Just released it, called "Christmas with You."
Nice, yeah. And you talk about releasing it song by song. This is kind of a new phenomenon I noticed, lately, because things like Spotify are changing the game, right? Where maybe in the past, musicians would, they'd release their album and, it'd be a single here, a single there. But now it seems like more and more musicians are releasing, albums like, song by song, not just the whole album online, right? Is that kind of your approach?
I would say, yeah. I think like, especially for a newer artist like me, if I was to drop an album out of the blue, it might get lost in the shuffle. So I try to build like one song at a time, promote really just one song, and have people listen to that, and that will drive people to the ones that have already been released. But in 2023, I am going to release my debut EP as a whole package. And then, I mean, I already have so many ideas for like where I can go musically in the future. Like I'm pretty, traditional, like country sound right now. I want to rock a little bit. I want to kind of evolve to be more country rock. That's kind of what I grew up on. Sort of a mix of influences between like Eric Church, early Tim McGraw, Kenny Chesney, Garth, Springsteen, Mellencamp, and like that's all. If you take all those things, like plus a little bit of Aerosmith and Queen, that's like you wrap that all up, that's me right there. So that's kind of like where I see myself evolving as a musician over the course of the next couple of years. Like I'm excited. I've put out a couple songs. We've got some really positive response off of the songs. And I mean, our Christmas song that we just put out is going to be really like a nice moment to end the year with. And then I'm already working on stuff for next year, and like in the studio as we speak, recording, doing demos, figuring out when to release stuff. It's exciting.
Yeah. And I want to talk, you mentioned all those different influences and everything like that. and you're for purposes of categorizing, you're a country artist, right? But country music, I believe, has kind of sprouted out into different genres now. It's kind of become like the pop music or the rock music of the day. Even there's artists out there that are country, right? But you listen to some of their songs and you're like, this is not like typical country, but it's it's you can still hear it. Like I'll give you an example. Like you have somebody like Thomas Rhett, right, who can release like a really nice like country ballad, like what do we call that one? It's everybody plays it for the weddings and stuff.
Die a Happy Man.
There you go, Die a Happy Man. I'm like, I know how to play that one on guitar. I can't believe I didn't know the name. But then you listen to other songs, and he's got like funky, like almost disco sounding songs on there. He's got like almost kind of like a beachy, almost reggae feel, right? And even covers like different songs like Banana Pancakes by Jack Johnson, right? I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, I'm like, all right, cool. I see what's going on here, and it's really crossing into all kinds of different genres. And I feel that's because more and more people are getting into country. Back in the day, like when I was a kid in the 90s, right? You would always hear people say, "Oh, I love to listen to everything except country."
Yeah. Everything but country.
And now everybody's like, "Oh, I love country." Even the people you don't expect, right? They're like, I'm like, when the hell did it change? Like pick one side or the other. But I mean, it's all good because it's expanding people's musical horizons, and I like when things get mixed up like that. So
I think so. I mean, I think we all grew up with all kinds of influences, like, to use the Thomas Rhett example. And even today, you pull up your phone and you get a search for any song that's ever been written. You have it within 10 seconds playing on your phone. So to just kind of pigeonhole us into one category, really country music comes from a whole bunch of different kinds of music. So like, and it will keep evolving. Like, I don't know where, it's one thing to kind of have an idea of like what you want to be, but you got to really see how it goes when you go into the studio. Like, you got to leave some room for experimentation and like see how it evolves. And I don't really want to be like, when I go in the studio, I don't want to be like other people, with my story and my background. And I don't feel like a pressure to fit in. Like, I'm just going to kind of do my own thing. But it is country, like, and I'm definitely like, that's probably 95% of what I listen to on a day-to-day basis currently, and what I grew up listening to. So that's very much I'm comfortable fitting in that genre, but I really want to carve out like my own space. I'm not going to really lie about who I am anymore. And, so that really just leaves like a blank slate. There have been very few gay guys who have been out and proud, like from the start of their country music career. Like we're talking like mainstream country. It's really just like a path that there's no roadmap that needs to be written. Like, and I could be the guy to do that. And just, I want to do that by singing good songs that are real country music, that are true to me, come from the heart, all that stuff, written with people here in Nashville, that I work with every day, and really just do the thing. And I believe, like, in this day and age, it's 2022, about to be 23. I mean, really, nobody really cares who you date. And I think that's a good thing. I think it'll let me just kind of lead with the songs, with good songs. And the way that my songs are written, it can connect to everybody, don't matter. Like Christmas with You could mean a whole lot of different things. It's a Bob Dylan quote. He said, "I'll sing it to you, but I'm not going to tell you what it means."
Yeah.
Like, everybody, you listen to a song, you hear a song on the radio or on streaming service, and you think, like, you don't really think about why the artist wrote it. Nobody really cares why the artist wrote it. It's really, I grew up listening to, falling in love with songs on the radio because of how they connected to me. So it's personal for everybody in a different way. So that's kind of like, I want to make songs for everybody.
Yeah, you mentioned something. I like that line. I'm not gonna tell you what it means. I instantly thought of like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Sometimes Anthony Kiedis has been you know uh, accused of writing lyrics that don't make sense. Right? I don't care. I'm like I'll sing along and I feel it almost like if I know what it means, but I have no idea what some of those things mean. I'm like they are a little far out there, but I think
Yeah.
that really kind of the passion that goes into it, if you really, listen and feel it, it kind of just transcends even any sort of, literal sense,
Yeah.
right? And so,
Yeah.
I mean, the music's good, and it's really from the heart. I think you can feel it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah. Recently, like I've been, it's easy when you're in Nashville where there's so many talented musicians to get down. Like, oh no, look at all these people who are on the chart, with their new single ahead of me. Um, and, but I recently have been trying to think about like the reason I got into music. I didn't listen to the radio and think, oh man, I love this song because it's at number 8 on the chart instead of number 17. Like,
mm-hmm.
I could care less about that. I got into it because I connected to the song. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really what, we lose like perspective when we're in it every day and we're, going to writers rounds and we're all trying to write these hit songs, but really it's about how they connect to the people. And my latest song, my Christmas song, I've spent so much of this year on the road that I have really just been looking forward to getting home for the holidays. Like I'm about to get home for a couple of days for Thanksgiving, see my family who I don't get to see a lot because they live like 1,000 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Christmas, gonna get like a week, which is I'm really looking forward to that. I've traveled 52,000 miles. I have this app tracking on my phone since the beginning of the baseball season.
Mm-hmm.
And or over the course of the baseball season, more since we finished, but really was like on the road all year. So
Wow.
that Christmas with You song, you can hear that in the lyrics. I've been on the road and I can't wait to get home for Christmas. And that's it's a true story in my life, and I always go back and forth in my head. What song should I release next? What should I do? But really, that was like an easy one because it's so true in my life that I just felt like it was the right moment for it. And we got maybe 6 weeks to Christmas, but I think people told me that they were streaming Christmas songs since Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't typically start that early, but I got it out before Thanksgiving just for some of those people who were asking for it.
For sure. Yeah, I think for those that love country music and Christmas music, it's going to be a good time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. With your Christmas with You song, right? You mentioned it's about being on the road. You mentioned it's about wanting to come back home, right? Do you feel like a lot of people can really kind of resonate with that? Maybe you have people out there that are maybe in the military or truck drivers or things like that. And I hate to kind of say categorize like those people like, oh, you're country fans, but a lot of them are, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's for everybody, and like the other songs, it's written in a way that it can mean whatever it means to you. I think a lot of us, like some of us, I wish that I grew up, like I wish Music City was located right next to where I grew up so I could see my family and friends, but I, just geographically, I can only get back there so often. So it really is cool to be able to actually get some time for the holidays. I'm very fortunate. We have so many people serving our country overseas who can't get back for Thanksgiving, can't get back for Christmas or New Year's or birthdays, anniversaries. So this is for all those people and trying to bring a little bit of country Christmas to wherever you happen to be located.
Yeah, very nice. did you have a hand in like writing the music or the lyrics, or did you do it all yourself? You work with writers and stuff too, right?
Yes, sir. There was actually a big crew. This was the largest group that I've ever written a song with. There was 5 of us that wrote this Christmas song together. Usually it's like 2 or 3, maybe 4, but there really was it just so happened to work out really well. 5 of us wrote it over the summer, actually.
Wow.
Right around Christmas in July. We were thinking, like, and I was on the road at the time, and I was like, the thing with these songs is you kind of have to get them done early. Mm-hmm. Like, I think I recorded it in September in order to be able to get it up in time for like the holidays. So it's funny how we all joke in music, like, half the music industry is going to be recording Christmas songs in June. Like,
yeah.
But there's a good group of us on it. The producer's name is Smith Curry. He's a great session musician here in Nashville, played on all kinds of hit records. Everybody you can think of, and the band, same thing. And I was really lucky to be able to work with like a top-notch crew of musicians that make me sound good. And mm-hmm. even the mixing and the mastering, David Axelrod mixed it, great mixer, and mastered by Andrew Mendelson at Georgetown Masters. So he's like a top dog, gets to do all the major label stuff. So for me as an independent artist to be able to work with this crew, not just for my debut EP, but for, the Christmas song as well, I'm so lucky that this is really my first year of like releasing songs. I've been here in Nashville for a couple years, been a writer for other artists for a couple years, but this is like the first year where it's my stuff. And mm-hmm. to be able to like work with this quality of people, like, it's making me sound good and helping me out is really a blessing.
Mm-hmm. And I think that, it's important putting out your stuff. It's like you mentioned, you can, sing other people's songs or you can write for other people. But when it's yours and you're singing it, I think it's on another level and you feel it a little more. Kind of, another example, like I think Eric Pasley, mm-hmm. I think one of his songs that's really, really good and it's, super catchy and it's like really kind of like feel good sing along song is Friday Night, right?
I love that song. Love it.
Before he released it, he wrote it for Lady Antebellum.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that version sucked. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Like it is really different. You're right. When you're writing it for yourself and it's like your baby in that case, because you're the one that's got to go around the country and perform it. Like, so you're going to be when you're writing it in the room, you're there that day, but when you're the artist, you're there with the song every day. So it really, it really makes it a little more important, and important to get it right and to figure out exactly what you want to say. We only get so many trips around the sun. Like we all got to maximize, the time that we got. And I have tried to be really focused with like, the songs that I'm putting out to start and getting a good start and building a base of songs that I believe in and are true for me and allow me to like tell my story and song and, mm-hmm. and still be, tell my story, but still have songs that are relatable for everybody.
For sure. And to use a little bit of a pun, with your album, you want to stand out, right?
Yeah.
So name of your album is The Standouts, right?
Standouts was a great. I'm so excited that we chose to do that one. That was the song that I released a couple months ago, and hopefully going to be rolling out a second version of it actually early in 2023. I haven't announced that yet, but that was a song that I wrote for my grandpa, who's a retired U.S. Army, veteran. Spent his career like overseas, raised a family of five kids, started up a small business when he got home, and He's in his 80s now. He's still kicking,
Oh,
but he's a standout. And I did it for him, and I did it for my little sister, who's a middle school teacher. You know, people who deserve some recognition for doing good things. And um, I've had a lot of people since I released that have told me like about the standouts in their lives. You know,
mhm.
so that's like a really, really powerful song to play out live because people connect to it, and you know, it strikes a chord deep down. And um, I was really happy with how that song was received.
Okay, my mistake. I thought it was the name of the album. That's the name that I knew that was the name of the single too. But is it the name of the album, or have you picked the name for the album yet?
We haven't picked a name yet. I think it'll be out. The EP will be out. Probably be 5 or 6 songs sometime in the middle of 2023. We're throwing some ideas around, but I'm not ready to kind of commit to anything publicly.
Gotcha.
But that's definitely the standouts is going to be, you know, one of the top featured tracks on the album. I'm hoping to recruit somebody to kind of sing a duet with me to do sort of like a version 2.0 of the
Uh-huh.
standouts. I haven't really announced who that is yet, but I'm excited about that.
Very nice. So, and with that, I want to kind of, just shift gears slightly and be, talk about where you see things in the future because, you know, uh, maybe last year, the year before, music was kind of on hold, right? Live music and, people weren't really, doing any shows or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're back almost, I would say pretty much full swing now, and so what do you see yourself doing? Are you going to be touring? Are you going to be recording more? And where are you headed in the near future?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we're back full swing with I mean, if you saw the news the other day with Taylor Swift breaking all the records, selling out on Ticketmaster and crashing the whole site. I mean, there's clearly a demand for live music. My plan over the course of the next year or so is just to roll out this EP song by song and finally, release the whole thing when we're ready. Hit the road, play as many gigs as I possibly can, still play some baseball. That's still important to me. Definitely getting towards the end of it. I'm not at the end yet, but music is definitely the direction I'm going in, with the momentum that we have. So I'll be on the road, I take any gig I can get pretty much. And, I'm go around the country, played in here in Tennessee, up throughout the Northeast, down in the Southeast, down to Florida, played out west in California and Oregon.
Nice.
I'm really looking to to just keep going and get to as many places as we possibly can. Hit the road, open up for people. Be the opening act. I think that's a good goal at this point.
Mhm.
It's a good thing to shoot for, to get on tour with somebody eventually when this rolls out and keep doing the thing.
Yeah, where in California did you play, man?
I played a hotel cafe in Hollywood. And then I also played, I played a couple places I played a bar around there as well. I also played in Escondido,
Okay.
so a little closer to San
San
Diego,
Diego, yeah.
and played up in Portland in Oregon as well. At the Wild Hair Saloon in Oregon City. That was a good, played there twice. So kind of getting around, saloons, honky tonks, bars. That's the name of the game right now. And it's always a good time. Everybody's drinking, country music, a lot of a lot of drinks flowing, and a lot of excitement and energy, and good songs and good vibes.
There you go. That's what it's all about, right? So, I do want to, take the time to plug your social media, anything else you want to throw out there, so where people can find you, maybe where they can support your nonprofit,
Sure.
and just where they can listen.
Yes, sir. So it's Bryan Ruby, Bryan with the Y, Ruby with the Y, at Bryan Ruby Official on all the things, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. And our nonprofit is called Proud to Be in Baseball, proudtobeInBaseball.org. And then also on all the different social media sites as well. So, check it out. My music site, bryanrubymusic.com. It's got a whole list of shows there. Upcoming stuff gets updated every time we get a new one. So come out and come say hi to me at a show. And, if you happen to be in the area and, introduce yourself. I love meeting people on the road. And I love hearing when people connect to my songs.
Yeah, if you come to another LA show, man, I'm gonna come see you. I'm gonna get some people out there. But
Yes,
definitely would be interested in checking that out.
right.
Anything else you want to throw out there to the podcast world? Anything at all?
No, sir. I think that was great. That was short and sweet, good 30 minutes or so. And thanks for having me on. I'll come back anytime and check out my new Christmas song, Christmas with You, on all the streaming platforms. And in a couple of weeks, I might even be dropping another one as a little surprise, but I can't tell you what that is yet.
All right. Nonstop, very, very hardworking man in the music industry. Got the baseball going on, so always doing something. So let's wish our good friend here, Bryan Ruby, lots of luck in everything he does. Hope to hear more from him soon. But I really appreciate having you on. I really, I know there's a lot more of the story to tell. So again, we just scratched the surface, but if ever the opportunity pops up, yeah, let's get it back on and do part 2.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Thank you for having me on.
Definitely. All right, for everybody listening at home, I appreciate you. Thank you. Fuck you and good night. Subscribe to the Ignorance is Strength podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Like, follow, and share on Facebook and Instagram at Ignorance is Strength Podcast and on Twitter at The Ignorance Pod.